Hi everyone, it's Tanya Stacey from Cuppa Tea Knowledge Channel, the place for all those tea addicts and tea lovers to build your tea knowledge. In this episode, to Introduction to Tea Education, we're going to be looking at Puer. Now this is the last of the tea families that we have been going through. Now Puer has the oldest history. In the modern form, it has about a 1300 year history from the Tang dynasty. It is also known as a dark tea or black tea in China, and it originates from the Yunnan province. There have been some different definitions for Puer tea. Some of the common themes with the definitions is that it should be from Yunnan province and it should be made from the Dai or large leaf tea tree. Now when you're looking at Puer tea, there are two main types. There is the shen and the shu, or the raw or cooked. And this is to do with the process. So the original format is the sheng or the raw puer. So that is when the process there is when it is picked and it's sorted and it goes through the pan frying or the killing the green. It is rolled, it is air dried, and then it goes through the fine processing, which is steaming, compressing, and then left to age. Then around the 70s, a new process was developed, and that was the cooked or the shu puer. And this was because there was such interest that developed in the puer, that they developed a new process to try and age puer quicker. The only difference between the two is really they go through exactly the same process up until the fine processing. And at the fine processing stage is where your shu puer is left for a few more months and it is covered to age it a little bit more quicker. Now the history behind all this was because during the Cultural Revolution, a lot of the tea processing had stopped in Yunnan and the tea was stored. But during the 70s, there were some Taiwanese tea people that came across to Yunnan looking for the old puer. And effectively, they created a huge demand. They bought up a lot of the tea that was there, and people just didn't want to wait the 20, 30 years for puer to get to that mature state. Now, of course, there's a lot of discussion that goes on about this particular tea family, as in the original way it was drunk would have been green. It wasn't left to sit around, as long as the tea that was bought in the 70s was left to sit around. So what I would suggest is that this is a tea family where you must find your supplier that you trust. There is a lot of counterfeits out there. There's a lot of fake teas out there, and that has been going on for a very long time, not just since the 70s. It's been going on for a long time. The one thing I would highly recommend to you is to purchase this book written by Jihong Zhang, and it is a wonderful account of the history of Puer tea, what happened through the 70s, and what is happening today with it. And this is written in a very academic way, but it is taken from the viewpoint of an anthropologist. And in this book, she goes into details at the back on the processes. She talks about the key players in the industry. She talks about some of the well-known tea companies as well. So this book, if you're very serious about getting into puer and understanding it more, I highly recommend it. So I'll put a link to the book where you can get it on Amazon below. Now, a few months ago, earlier this year, I was in Shanghai, and when I was in Shanghai at a tea fair over there, I was in a tea brewing competition. They had a display on making shu puer. We're going to have a look at that right now.
斤啊
100克。
1斤的。这是熟的是生的？这熟茶呢？我们做的是普洱生。
So wasn't that great to go to a food fair and hear these people in traditional outfits, though I honestly don't believe that they wear those sort of outfits when they're making tea. What I would suggest now is to the either up here or over here, I'm going to put a link to the videos that were done by Ji Hong that complement this book, and it takes you to the source and it shows you all the different steps of processing the tea. It shows you the conversations that they have, the little things that they themselves have to look out for. Like I say, find yourself a very good and trusted supplier for this tea, otherwise you could end up paying a lot of money for tea that really isn't that great. Click on the videos from Ji Hong and I hope you enjoy those, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.